All right, so this is our progress report update for July. Um, and we're just going to do a little recap of what happened in the month. So Alice is finally she's ready for contributing now. So that's linked here. And so here's the contributing docs. Let's see. So what else did I think I mentioned? I'm not going to look at the computer. I'm going to try to take some time to step away. Um, so everything, you all have all the docs. So, and all the engineering logs. So, wow, this is GitHub's being kind of slow today. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to run through the contributing documentation right now, and then we'll talk a little bit about where we're going and what we've aligned on so far. Okay, so I left a little note here, about what's going on. So basically, here's the PR, right? We're communicating essentially through the PR, and then the engineering logs go in engineering comms. So, all right. So let's run through contributing to Alice. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and create myself a temporary directory. Okay, and then we'll run through clone the repo. And this is, of course, referenced from the README. So if you get to the README and you're wondering, hey, how does Alice work? Wow, GitHub is real slow today. Okie. So, oh, okay. Come on, I'm sorry. This would have been a little faster here, but I guess we hit it a bad time. All right, good, we got it. Okay, so then we go into the Alice directory, right? And we're going to go ahead and create a new virtual environment. You don't necessarily have to do this, right? But it's helpful to isolate your dependencies sometimes. And so we recommend creating a new virtual environment. And then after you're done creating a new virtual environment, then we do the pip install command, this large one here. And that's going to install Alice, which is the dot directory because we CD'd into there, as well as the other plugins that we need that are installed in development mode. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a Git repo, right? So we're going to create this my new Python project. So we can use the GH-CLI, and we should have configured that already. So if you look at the contributing docs, it mentions that GH and GitHub are both required. And I believe, the README needs to mention that as well. All right, so let's create the project. Okay, or create the repo. See a little bit of slowness in the GitHub API. Okay, yeah. Looks like they're having some trouble over there. All right, TLS timeout handshake. All right, experiencing some network issues today. Okay, come on. Just trying to create a repo here. Is it my internet or what's going on? Is it GitHub? Okay, Google loads fine. So it's GitHub. Okay, so all right, there we're jumping back out, and we can go ahead and get rid of that directory now. Right, and so if we were to look at my project right now, it has the test py file in it, right? Okay. So now we're going to ask, now we're going to have Alice contribute. Actually, we can have Alice, we can run the command first and we'll see. Okay, so Alice is going to contribute for us the README and community standards, right? So here's the she's going to contribute the contributing file and the README. Okay, great. So, and I'm going to go ahead and run this command down here in the debugging to go ahead and delete both of those pull requests now, because we're going to do another thing. So now what we're going to do is we're going to extend Alice, right? So we're going to have Alice contribute the code of conduct file. All right, so then we basically just do our find and replace on that file. So we copy from an existing overlay. So from the README overlay, we do a find and replace. We find and replace everything that's README in the various title, fully uppercase or fully lowercase in code of conduct, right? And then we go ahead and we add the overlay code of conduct to the list of installed overlays when recommended community standards is run, right? So anytime the recommended community standards flow is executed and the installed overlays are not overridden, then we'll see code of conduct loaded from the code of conduct file. Okay, so then this is just showing us that, and then we need to add, so we also need to add to the entry points file the definition of the overlays which should be applied to the code of conduct flow itself, right? And so those are overlay Git and overlay GitHub to help it figure out some branches and stuff. And so that code is in there, and you should take a look at that code, right? So you should take a look at the code in Alice, please contribute recommended community standards. That's basically where all the code lives. So at this point, now we can run the reinstall on Alice, and we can ask her to contribute the recommended community standards again. So now we need to be aware that she is operating as our account right now. So when you're using GH, she's signed in as you, right? So let's see, what are the pull requests saying? So code of conduct, okay, look at that. All right, and then the README, okay. So here is the code of conduct.md. All right, so now we could go and we could change those files. So if we wanted to, we could go in here, right, and code of conduct's contents, right? So we could say code of conduct, right? So let's just move. Okay, and now we can close this off again. We can run it again. And we should see that the code of conduct's, the contents of that code of conduct that's being contributed has changed. Right. So, and then the contributing, the Alice contribution docs here. So, come on. Oh yeah, that's right. GitHub is being slow. We got a few seconds of goodness. Okay, so this is running create contributing file access. This is stuck on here. It's probably stuck on some GitHub operation that's in progress. Okay, so this then in the contributing docs themselves, it goes over writing like just random little overlays. And so this is like, you know, hey, if I wanted to read from a config file, how would I do that, right? So you could then, okay, so let's go check out our pull requests, code of conduct, right? So now we see it says code of conduct. Okay, and so there's other stuff that you can do where you can add inputs one off. Okay, wait, I added that after the help. Okay, so repos. Okay, so this doesn't support adding overlays as one-offs. Yeah, you have to install them. Okay. All right. Okay, so that's great. So that is our Alice, our open source guide. All right. So now we can also list from here just to see. Okay. Yep. There they are. Sweet. Okay, so there's our contribution. So now you can extend Alice, following this methodology, to contribute arbitrary files, right? And so you can also, maybe inspect the contents, or look at auxiliary sources of information by following similar, this writing operations within the contributing. And then going beyond that, there's also, the should I and the metastatic analysis tutorial, where we talk about writing should I, which is the stuff that's currently used in just the scraping without the proactive contribution. And then there's the extension of should I, which talks about overlays a little more. Okay, so I think, okay, there is a screen here. Okay. So other than that, let's see. So, oh yeah, so it's sort of a self-fulfilling prophecy again, because we're writing Alice and now Alice can contribute code. And so then we can arbitrarily extend Alice to contribute more code. And then eventually Alice will just contribute to herself, right? And it'll be, yeah, she'll be rolling. So, okay, so IETF, okay, so the SCITT, the supply chain integrity, transparency, and trust working group, I think, I'll rejoin that in September. So others, please get involved in that. That seems like a good thing to get involved in. So we aligned with the OpenSSF Identifying Security Threats Working Group. We talked to Mike, who's leading that, and who also is, I think he might be leading the Alpha Omega stuff. So we got Alice Omega Alpha helping out with OpenSSF Alpha Omega here. So we'll try to get everything from all directions, right? So hopefully we talked to them about how, and you can see the working group recording for, I think it's posted public. So we basically talked about how, SCITT and the SICT architecture seem to be very compatible with the stuff that we're doing here at the open architecture. We may have probably like a little bit extra stuff around policy and then the threat modeling portion of this, but my guess is that SCITT will provide a really solid foundation for us to build on. So we should really collaborate with them on that spec, and try to figure out, how do we make that a success. Because it looks like they've done great work there, and we just want to make sure that we understand it and that we contribute where possible, right? So anyone just get involved in that. And we talked about how this stuff could be potentially used for the vulnerability sharing as across the stream aid, and need to align the working group with the stream and the activities there. And then also there's some various graphics that we put together. I think we streamed some of the putting it together. Okay, so it's just my local connection maybe. But yeah, so basically, here's Alice. Actually, you know what? This is it. So I think we're good here. Everybody, you all should be able to have plenty of fun for the month of August. And yeah, okay, the AppSec talk will probably be posted where we did the first live demo of Alice. And yeah, I think we're pretty much good to go, right? So at this point, the other thing is that the contributing, so under here, contributing a party plug into the second or third party plugin ecosystem. So obviously we still have to do some work on second party, but effectively, the third party is game, right? So we're good to go here at this point. So this stuff should work, and you should be able to start just like publishing packages and installing Alice overlays for things. We'll need to go through, so in the CLI, Alice CLI. So in the CLI, we're going to need to go through and extend this to make it, to make the commands, like this is just not very clean right now, so we're going to fix that up later. At this point, if we want more commands, we can just, copy paste. But other than that, everything is pretty much in Alice. Please contribute. So okay. All right, so it's basically these file, or actually, so Right, so it's basically just these files, so there's not a lot going on here. It should be hopefully pretty digestible. So yeah. Okay. Okay. So yeah, mess around with these files, have fun. I think you're gonna have fun. And if it's only Alice watching this, well then, Alice, have fun. Okay, so, and Alice is here.